Si coque normal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are late, we are live, but we made it. This is Tim Dowd for Living with MS in Tenerife, and you are watching Balcony Banter. Okay, we got the big three on. So I'm going to pull this closer to the phone. Got to get rid of this stuff here.
Remove your sex toys.
Clio.
Tim's sex toys, and we're removing them from the table. I don't think your granddaughter can understand, so that's fine.
There you go. What's my sound like, everybody? Now, I don't have anything to look at comments today because I'm using all the cameras I've got. So I'm going to rely on our colleagues now to log in and look at comments.
Oops.
Okay, Tim, your quiet mic. We've got a quiet mic. So.
Is my mic okay?
Your mic's fine. It's buying a bit better now. There you go. Okay, ladles and jelly spoons. Now, there's three of us on, but there will be four of us on. Good evening, Balcony Banter. Okay, I do actually see the last few here. Sarah Charles says, hi all, wonder if someone can help me on this Watch Andrews live last night and just want to double check if you had the booster, do you still have to have an antigen test or is it down the second jab? Thanks.
You're looking at me. This is to travel to Spain.
Yeah.
Okay, the easiest thing, because I know my daughter travelled 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you find out, is you go onto the Spanish health site. You go to hellocanaries.com.
Everybody goes on there, but nobody understands it. That's the problem.
But it's in English.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Apparently, it's too complicated.
Really? Okay. It's very easy. You need a QR code to pass through without any bother at the airport when you land. And you get that by going on the Spanish Travel Health site.
And answered all the questions.
You answer all the questions. It'll ask you what part of England you're coming from. It'll ask you when you had your last vaccination. And then within 72 hours of your journey, you fill in the final bits and pieces, and it should then send you a code saying you're fit and good to go.
Okay.
But it might be a little bit boring, but I don't think it's too complicated.
Because here it says, if you've had your booster, do you still have to have an antigen test?
The answer, I think, is no, but you do need to fill in the form. If you don't fill in the form and have your QR code, there is a chance that they will ask you at the airport to produce documentation. And if the documentation they deem to be out of date, they might actually do a test on you there and then, which happened to my kid, even though she was within the time frame.
Okay, well, they tested her there and then they didn't stop again on the plane or nothing like that?
This was on arrival.
Oh, on arrival, okay.
Yeah.
So once you get here, if there's any problems, they'll just test you again, right?
There was a testing table at the airport.
Okay.
And they did a very quick antigen, and 5 minutes later she was through.
Yeah, I think I've never used it because I've never travelled to Spain from Britain. But I think the way that it works is, as Clio was saying, is you fill in the form and it asks you whether you have this. And if you say yes, you go to one place. And if you say no, you go to another place.
If you're UK, if you're coming from an EU country, if you've been vaccinated, etc.
So just go through the motions and it should tell you exactly what to do. And you don't have to worry. So there you go.
Yeah. Except, yes, I agree, it's tedious.
Yeah. I think the thing is, they're not going to stop you going in because... Oh, I see what you mean. I know what she's asking now. Because they do say you have to be fully vaccinated and your last vaccination has to be less than
270 days.
270 days ago,
yeah.
Unless you've had a booster, and then that
the
booster
is considered a vaccination.
Okay, so basically, as long as you've had your booster,
yeah.
And it wasn't within the last 14... No, your booster doesn't matter. Your booster's immediate, isn't it?
The easiest thing, it's spth.gov.es, okay?
spth.gov for Goblino.es.
And if you go on that now... Generally, what you can do is, it's in English, you can check the validity now of your documentation to travel.
There you go.
They'll probably ask you to upload a PDF of your COVID vaccination certificate. If you can do that, they can tell you in advance, even before you're travelling, whether your documentation will be valid. And then within 3 days of your travel, you go back in, you fill in all the details, fill in the form, and they send you your QR code to say you're good to go.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to put not Stephanie. Christina and Juliani in slot A. Then I'm going to put Tim in slot B. Then I'm going to put Clio in slot C.
C for Clee.
C for Clee. And then I'm going to put Stephanie, who's not here yet, in slot D. There you go.
D for daughter.
D
Just works so well.
It works so well. Okay, ladles and jelly spoons, here we go. Here we go. So we don't have anything planned today. I was going to download one of my old ones, but I didn't have time. I went shopping and everything. I'm cooking and everything. We're having tapas tonight. Cleo can't make it, but I reckon when she's going, she'll smell it and go, I'll have some of that.
I'll have some of that.
Maybe we'll give her something to take home, eh?
A takeaway.
A takeaway.
Takeaway.
Timmy's takeaway.
Listen,
coming from Timmy's takeaway.
We're going to Timmy's takeaway. Do you do it through the hatch? Did you see, to start off with a bit of a giggle, have you seen the big Aldi sign?
It's the Aldi Nord.
No, the Aldi in front of Adeje. The one in Adeje. It now has up a big sign telling you the date that it's opening, but apparently it's opening on August 21st.
21st.
Oh, 24 ST.
21st.
So it's the 21st, which is maybe the Irish 21st.
The 21st.
It's opening on the 24st of August.
The 24th. It's like Little Germany. They're closing on the 9th to the 24th.
What Little Germany? Oh, Little Germany.
Little
As in
Germany.
Not Lidl
No,
Germany.
no, it was.
Little Germany.
No, it was. It was. I can't remember. I made fun of it anyway.
It's a bit funny.
I know. Came back in May, scanned my NHS app barcode, all was good. Okay, great. So I think everybody's all right with that. I hope everything's okay. Juli Wade says, Tim, I'm in Tenerife, Las Americas. Missed you yesterday by 10 minutes. No. Well, Juli Wade, as long as you stay until Friday, I'll be out and about on Friday. And I really don't know where, but I'm up for suggestions. And not only that, but tomorrow morning I'm going for a walk. I don't know if Stephanie's coming on the walk, but she'll be with me in the car. And then I drop her off, and maybe her and the little one will just go and play on the beach for a bit, and I'll go and walk around. So if you want to meet up tomorrow, I know somebody was... a lot of people have contacted me, but nobody contacts me on WhatsApp, which is my main thing, or email is best. So email is where I do all my organising of who's doing what where, and then I do WhatsApp for, hey, where are you, or I'll be 10 minutes late. And other people are contacting me on other things, and I just forget. So if I've arranged to meet you, and I haven't made a specific date and time, it's not done yet. So you need to email me and say when and where for a morning walk. And if you're coming to see me on Friday, you're going to have to sort of say, well, I'll be hanging around where, Vista Sur, and then I'll come there. So that's the type of thing we're doing here. Not a sort of a formal meet-up like the meet-up Mondays used to be. So today's balcony banter is exactly that. We're sat on the balcony and we're going to have a banter. I want to introduce you to my daughter when she's got 5 minutes, because she's very busy with the little one at the moment.
Yep.
But whilst that's happening, we're going to go to Christina, who's right on the edge there. I'm going to turn it around slightly. There you go.
Hello.
Christina, how the devil are you?
I'm really good.
You're looking good. You know that? You're looking sort of happy. Why are you happy?
Yeah. Because my daughter is here.
Our daughter.
And she is so funny.
She is. She's also drop dead gorgeous. They both are.
Yeah.
How can we find out where you're going to be instead of rushing to find you in that hour, says Chris Godfrey. You've probably written that before I said what I said. Basically, on Friday, I don't know where I'm going. Email me to tell me where you are. If 10 people email me and one of them says I'm in Los Gigantes and the other one says I'm in Los Cristianos, I'll pick one and let you guys know. If you've got a car, then please go to the place where the people are that don't have a car.
You could install a chip in your brain.
I've got chips in my brain.
You got chips
I've got
on the brain.
Fried eggs and chips in my brain. So I'm going to introduce you to my young daughter here, who is, she's the youngest daughter I've got. That's your camera. Yeah. And she's going to get my microphone because I don't have an extra mic here. There you go. I'll make sure that it's not blocking you.
Okay.
It looks like you've been attacked by a big dead cat there.
Komm gleich.
So, you interview because you got a microphone.
Your mum.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
You've got the questions, eh?
Just ask her what she's like.
Okay.
What do you like?
What are you like?
In Ireland, that's not a question. That's a statement of fact. Like, what do you like?
What you like? Can you look to your left, please? Okay, so that means you're going to be in slot A. And can you look to your right, please, Chris? That means you're going to be in slot B. There you go. So you're looking at each other now.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't have a microphone, so you guys chat.
Okay, in Müll. Ich komm gleich. Ich helfe dir gleich.
What have you always wanted to ask your daughter?
On air in front of thousands of people.
Oh. Yeah, that's a
Oh,
bit
put
much
on
for
the
me
spot.
now.
Put on the spot.
Can I ask you a question? What on earth was it like growing up with these two?
Balcony banter.
Okay, you don't have to be
Hard.
honest.
No, it was nice. We saw a lot. We moved around a lot, and that was really good.
Moira's saying, what's your first language, German or English?
German. I don't know, when did I start speaking English?
In America.
In America, yeah.
Okay.
But you don't speak with an American accent, so that's good.
I don't. I used to. Maybe
You've
I
probably
lost it a
changed.
bit.
You've changed. It's great. It's good to be bilingual, though.
Yeah,
such a
I agree.
bonus.
And this one is bilingual too.
Fabulous. Hi.
This is Malika.
Hat dir die Juliane geholfen? Oh, ja. Das ist aber nett, oder?
Love the colour of Stephanie's hair, says Moira.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
In 1 second.
There you go. 2 offers for Las Americas Friday. Okay, I don't have a microphone, but you can hear me anyway. I've got this new big voice. I will be in Las Americas on Friday. I shall park in the Safari Centre car park, and I shall be outside the Hard Rock Cafe opposite by the fountain at 5:55. Okay? So, Hard Rock Cafe, not hotel.
Not hotel.
Hard Rock Cafe, 5:55 Friday. I'll be outside interviewing you guys like there's no tomorrow.
Live and exclusive.
Live and exclusive. So, ask Stephanie some more questions about the farm, maybe, or
What
about
farm?
where does she live, what farm.
See? There we go. There we go. Tell us about the farm.
So, my husband started a farm in Ghana in 2019, a cashew farm.
Wow.
Yeah, and we've gone on to do some intercropping as well. So,
Which means
which means that we also do maize and now tomatoes, and what else have we done?
Peanuts.
Peanuts, yeah. Because the cashews, we planted them in 2019, end of 2019, beginning of 2020, but they take 3 to 4 years to bear the first fruits. So that's coming up probably, by the end of,
End of this year, beginning of next year.
yeah.
and does that mean that so there's always a different crop coming through? So that 12 months of the year you're going to be harvesting.
Exactly, yeah.
It's funny, I was just saying to Tim, there's an urban farm here in Adeje, and the circular economy is the big buzzword at the moment, and they're also planting crops which they give to families in need, but they make sure that there's something that can be picked
Yeah.
all year round. Hi, you! So that's amazing. How big is the farm?
It's about 200 acres. Yeah, it's quite big. And we went and saw it for the first time last year. Or I did, and Malika did. We're really impressed, and he's
Can I
done really
ask,
well.
how did you come up with that idea? I mean, have you always been like, I want to be a farm girl?
No. Kasim came up with the idea. He's been really interested in it. and he wanted to do something that he could do in Ghana. Yeah.
And it's his hometown, right?
Yeah.
And so
Hello.
he's got a team of people from his hometown working on
That
the
are
farm
helping,
as well.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of really great.
Yeah. No, it's really good. He's done really well.
And how do you get the land in Ghana? Do you have to buy it, or is it given to you, or do you have to lease it, or what's that?
Normally you buy. We were lucky that the land was Kasim's family land, so we just had to talk to the chief, and he basically gave us the rights or allowed us to use it.
Okay.
And
Okay, great.
so yeah.
Well, I mean, because it was family land, I presume that was a bonus.
Yeah, because
Nice one.
otherwise it would have probably been really expensive to even acquire that land, and then yeah.
And
Who's the chief? Is he a family member?
Distant, I think. Distant.
And I presume the crops are they're for selling. They're
Yeah,
not just for
yeah.
your own person. Right.
Yeah.
So and you source markets locally, or will you be looking to export as well?
Locally, because I mean maybe they'll export to other African countries, but I don't think that we'll end up exporting further Europe or.
Okay.
He's fertig, ja.
Moira
Come back,
Fitzsimmons is asking, can Malika sing a song? Malika! Can you sing a song?
We're quite happy when she's just hanging around.
One of my questions then after is irrigation, because we've been talking about
Exactly.
drought and
Yeah.
water, and I confess to be very ignorant about what the kind of climate cycle is like in Ghana. So, like, what's the water situation there at the moment? Is it very relevant to the farming, the crops you're growing?
Yeah, so it's rainy season at the moment, so that's okay for the cashews don't need a lot of water, and the maize is all right with just rain. But we've started tomatoes, and they need a lot of water.
Do they?
Yeah, because it's so hot. It can at the moment it's not maybe as hot, but 40 degrees and upwards, so they really need a lot of water. And we did our first round of tomatoes, and unfortunately, we didn't have a very good watering situation. So it didn't really work out that well. We got a handful of tomatoes,
Oh,
or a box
dear.
full. So, but now we are getting a solar panel installed.
Okay, good.
And we have the irrigation laid out. So we used irrigation last time, but with a motor. So we had to put petrol in, and that was expensive as well. And it couldn't distribute the water evenly. So we always had to switch the areas that were getting water. So weren't all getting water at the same time, and it just
Right.
wasn't enough. But now with the solar panel, that will be able to
Regulate it.
Yeah,
Learning curves, eh?
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So where do you live at the moment?
In Germany, in Bavaria.
In Bavaria. And you were born in Bavaria.
I was,
So you're the only Bavarian on the table.
yeah.
What
Nope,
part?
she's also
Oh,
Oh,
Bavarian.
you're Bavarian. Yeah, Malika's Bavarian. Are you Bavarian, Malika?
No.
What are you then?
du bist der Bazi.
A Batsy. I'm Batsy. I'm not a Batsy, she says. Does
No,
Stephanie
no.
live in Ghana? Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
But
Good.
is that the plan?
Yeah.
Does Stephanie live in the UK? No. Stephanie lives in Bavaria, which is where she was born, in Regensburg, and just to south of Regensburg is where Christina's parents live in a village, and they moved there.
It's not a village.
Okay, it's a town or something.
It's a town.
Yeah, but everybody knows everybody's business, so it's a village.
Bit like here.
A little bit like here. And so they stayed there temporarily,
Yeah.
and it's temporarily 5 years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
6
Yeah,
years?
going on 6 years.
Going on 6 years, yeah.
Just dropping in.
Exactly.
I'll put the kettle on. 5 years later.
Ali Bennett's on. Hi, Ali.
Thank you. So many kisses.
Love cashew nuts,
my
very
gosh.
expensive. Do you know why they're expensive? I'll tell you why they're expensive. Have you ever seen how a cashew nut grows? I was blown away by this.
Go on.
A cashew nut grows on a tree like a pear.
Really?
And there is a pear on the tree, actual a fruit that looks like a pear. And at the bottom of the pear, on the outside of the pear, is a little curly thing with the cashew nuts in it. One nut in each pear.
Oh my goodness!
So when you're like putting cashews in your gob with a handful,
I've just eaten a tree.
you've just eaten a tree.
Wow!
Exactly.
I mean, is it very labour intensive, or can they?
Yeah.
Very hand labour intensive, and not only that. Okay. I'll get the microphone back now because I'm doing a lot of talking. And not only is it labour intensive, but also it's all by hand. There's no sort of machines that do it, and the fruit is not edible
At all.
at all. The only thing you can do with the fruit is make whiskey.
Okay, well, no, that's a good side.
Yeah, but I think is it illegal? I can't remember. I don't know whether it's legal.
Hooch.
Yeah.
It'd be a proper old hooch.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
hooch. It'll be a hooch. So we're gonna, and it's Wurra Farms. So if you want to follow them on Instagram, it's Wurra WURA minus farms. They do have a wurrafarms.com, but yours truly is redoing the website at the moment,
Ooh.
and it's not ready. So, but I'll let you know when it's ready. And you can send them love and appreciation on Instagram, or I think they're on Facebook as well.
Sorry.
And Kasim's going to start doing not vlogging really, but he's going to start taking films. He's got my old GoPro, and I've given him a 360 camera, which he hasn't done anything with it yet, but he's planning on doing it. And when they get there to full time, then they're going to be vlogging from there, so that'll be quite
Nice
good.
one.
They're not actually going to vlog live because it's not a very good internet connection up in the north of Ghana. It's right in the. Oh, you're clicking, darling. What are you going to say?
Yeah. They even got a tractor named after me.
They've got a tractor named after Christina. It's a Massey Ferguson tractor.
Proper order.
And
Massey
we said
Ferguson.
it's going to be, it is the Christina Dowd memorial tractor
That's what it's
when she
gonna
dies.
be.
And it's just the Christina Dowd tractor now.
Okay. That's good. So they'll be saying, "Long may she plough a furrow
Long may she plough a furrow.
in her Massey Ferguson."
That's not a bad way to, as Morris says, it's not a bad way to use the fruit.
Brilliant way to use the fruit.
It is, yeah, just make whiskey.
Yeah.
But Ghana is actually famous for rum, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't you bring me
Did I bring you
a
some?
bottle of rum in a Coke bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't last long, did it?
I'll tell you what, I had to chuck it away.
Really?
It was so strong. I'm not kidding you. It killed me.
Wow.
It killed me. But and I'd have lost 2 kidneys.
Well, so we'll wait for the hooch to see how that works out. The cashew, a fruit that isn't a pear hooch.
So I know you're not a big YouTuber, and I know you don't want to be on it too long, and I know that you're doing this just because you love me,
Yeah.
and you're stealing ham.
Well, there's no dinner yet, so.
That's because
The right answer.
because you're making it. That's what it is. Did the potatoes turn themselves off? Are they still boiling?
Check.
You check in a minute.
Next.
This is the special ham. I'm going to take the fat off for you.
No,
I'll
I
take the fat
don't, I
off
don't
for
think you are, Jim. I have a feeling you're not allowed to touch it.
Hands off my
It's a
hand.
kind of a bit of Lord of the Ham. It's mine.
Well, there you go. Now you know she's Bavarian because she's just eating ham.
Yeah, hum.
It is.
Done trucking, even all hearing's going much worse. I can't hear what's going on. Point with the special here September. Pots to leave you. Wish you well.
It's good, no?
Lekker. It is like the time I knew my daughter was Canarian. She was about 2, and we were up in one of those little mountain restaurants.
Shiring, no, Guachinchi.
No, it wasn't. It was just like a restaurant that you knew used to be somebody's house.
Okay.
And when we were ordering, they brought out bread and big tubs of alioli. And Brianna just grabbed the bread, broke the bread, just started eating the alioli like that, and I was like,
She's Canarian.
She's Canarian. Like there's no question about it, None of the bread and butter nonsense.
So I'm going to leave you on camera for as long as you like, and if you want to say something, just grab your mum's clicker, and then I'll pass you the microphone. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my wonderful daughter and my wonderful granddaughter right down here. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight, but we're not going. Don't worry, we're not going. I'm going to hand over to Clio in a minute, but we didn't finish going around the table, so I'm going to go around the table again. And I've got to move you because Julie's leant back because she's really having a relaxed time of it tonight. Yeah?
No, it's nice.
A relaxed time of it tonight. So, Julie, what have you been doing the last week?
Listening.
Listen, good answer. Good answer.
Listening. Isn't that good? Yeah, besides that, working. I had a few kids now. They're nearly starting back to school.
Okay. And you're doing what languages mostly?
This one is taking German class.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so... And the other day I even published a video.
I saw that. If you've not gone to Juliani's channel lately, go to julianinendel.com or go to youtube.com/julianinendel, which works now, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. You can just go youtube.com/julianinendel.
It does work.
And that'll work. I don't know if they've got it. Have I got it here? Juliani, there she is. That's how you spell it. And yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and besides that, I took a walk the other day, beautiful walk, but it's a bit too hot at this very moment. So.
It is too hot. It was all right today though, but a bit.
Yeah.
Nice today.
Yeah. Well, it's still damp.
Can you
And
check on the taters, kid? Bring me another glass.
And yeah,
Do you want some
I mean
water,
it's
No.
August, it's relax time, and yeah.
Okay, because August is a typical holiday time,
Yeah,
right?
August is quite is more chill than all the other months, I would say.
Yeah, Dun Trucking saying he's gone deaf. So all I've got to say is very important. Is done is well, it's up on again.
We're not doing shortwave radio.
We're not doing short radio. That was me. That was my grandmother. You know, my grandmother would turn it up so it did a feedback. You know, and we used to go up on again. You know, like Collier, Norman Collier. Is this game working? My granny was the best because she says, you know, my hearing aid's not very good. You know, I've written to the hearing aid people, but I haven't heard anything yet.
Oh. Did you see, by the way, just speaking of banter,
Uh-huh.
that they've brought out a Barbie doll with a hearing aid?
No,
Isn't that kind
Really?
of cool?
I think that is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you-
Apparently, after one of the Strictly Come Dancing stars for the next is somebody who's hearing impaired,
Okay.
and she's an athlete, and they brought out a Barbie doll with a hearing aid.
Oh, that's
Cool.
great.
Isn't that kind of
It's
fab?
really cool.
Yeah, well done, Mattel.
Mattel, it was, isn't it?
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
And a segue to how's Matt? How's Mattel?
How's Mattel?
Mattel.
How's Matt? Mattel.
Thank
More
you.
ham?
Dun Trucking says thank you everyone. I'll finally get it sorted. There you go. Jen's on as well, I think.
Somebody's enjoying that.
Selective hearing, says Moira. Hope you're feeling well.
I think Christine.
Craig shouting, can you hear us? Paul J says, Tim, love your channel. Keep pushing and get them subscribers numbers up. You deserve it. Thank you so much, Paul. We are keeping the subscribers select and low on purpose at the moment, because if we go any further, we go into the realms of which I don't want to do. But next October, when I retire for good and I get on the radar of the Hacienda and start paying tax because I'm earning more than 450 euros a month, then we shall start pushing it. But if I push it before then might be a problem that I would lose all my benefits of being a dependent on Chris. So we're keeping our subscribers only to the select few. But thank you, and thank you for subscribing. Don't unsubscribe unless you don't watch the stuff. But if you don't watch the stuff, you're not listening to me now. So, you know, I'm preaching to the choir.
Chris wants to say something.
Good, there's a click there.
Ignoring me.
Of course I'm ignoring you. So you're my husband. Wife, I mean.
I just wanted to tell you
Yeah.
that Tim's got a new t-shirt. and living with a mestizo.
There we go.
It is nice.
I told her to say that 2 hours ago, and she just remembered. So here's the new T-shirt. This is Taking My Life in My Hands. There you go. There's the logo. And if you want to look at the back, let me just stand up. The back is our logo.
There you go. And you can see the bottom. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice one.
Cool dudes.
That's merch.
Merch.
Yep.
And you can,
merch time.
One, Chris.
you can get it. I think it's on the channel.
We have a black one.
It's on the merch channel. And there's a white one and a black one. And I think if you go to the other, this is the Eco Tee, or the ecological T-shirt. And if you go to some of the other ones, then there's also blues and pinks and reds. Sometimes it doesn't really work. And I've got 3 logos. I've got this one, Take My Life in My Hands. I've got Whoosh, Zoom, that I do. And I've got Ladles and Jelly Spoons. So that's quite nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
And the black one suits you really well.
the black one I wore this morning. If you missed that, the live walk this morning, I wore the black one, and I'm wearing the white one. There we go.
You're modelling your T-shirts.
TMLMIMH, Take My Life in My Hands. That looks terrible, doesn't it?
But I can't bear it because people wouldn't see the back.
I could just lie you on the street for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, just like we'll go for a walk, and then I'll just take you out the chair, lie you down.
Oops.
Oops.
Or you could lie on the street and she could roll all over you.
All over roller.
Roll on, roll off.
So I'm going to hand over to my best friend and colleague, Clio.
I'm your what? Colleague.
Well, she's my...
Listen, as Julianne said, there's very little happening, so I'm going to give you a quick roundup of what is kind of the big Adeje stories. But it's slow time. Spanish people go on holidays. People go on holidays in August. There's fiestas on. I think the fireworks in Alcalá are on this week, and that's always rather special. There's a big music festival on the 27th of August. It's Mujeres World Fest. So if you like Spanish music, and especially female singers, that was the big thing that's happening in the Golf Costa Adeje.
Golf Costa Adeje.
Which is becoming one of the big venues in the south.
It is?
Well, it really is. I mean, last week they had the Sunblast Festival there, and there were thousands of that. Did you go? I didn't go. I'm far too young for that. But Alejandro Sanz sang there about 3 weeks ago, who's a huge Spanish star, and that's where Rod Stewart has been, and Elton John, and
I saw El Divo there.
I saw an opera singer there. I can't remember her name. A Spanish opera singer there 2 years ago, and it's a lovely venue.
Amazing, and if you catch like a full moon, it's spectacular.
So it's a big open door, natural kind of. It's like a natural cocoon in a golf course, and just works perfectly in terms of sound and vision and climate. For summertime concerts.
Okay, so it's an open air outdoor concert area with great acoustics.
Great acoustics. And for the next thing is the Mujeres World Fest, and that's on the 27th of August.
So Mujeres World Fest is Women's World Festival.
Yeah, if you go onto the Adeje Town Hall Facebook page.
And how do you get to the Adeje Town Hall Facebook page?
You go onto Facebook and you put in Adeje Town Hall.
Thank you very much.
You've
got to say these to these
yes,
people,
I know,
You've got to say these to these people.
So if you scroll down there, you'll see what's going on, because I post pretty much something every day. I mean, there's also things, Spanish classes are starting again. If you live here, if you're coming here to live, Spanish classes are starting in September.
Are they free or?
No, but they're subsidized rates if you're a resident. As most people know, if you come here and live here and you go onto the Padrón, which is your residence register.
Which you should.
Well, you should, because I don't know if people know this, but the town hall gets money for every person on the Padrón for public services. Mm-hmm. So if you're registered, that means there's maybe extra money for public loos or better road cleaning or something like that.
So what happens is the money that is collected in taxes of whole of Spain is collected through Madrid, and the Padrón actually tells you how many people live in each area.
Yeah.
And if you're on the Padron, then Adeje will have 58,000 people or whatever it is at
About
the moment.
50,000 at the moment.
About 50,000 at the moment, but we're actually probably nearer to 60 to 65,000 because there are a
Big
lot of
issue.
people who live here
Yeah.
or semi-live here, and
If you, I mean, as well.
they want to
if you-
stay under the radar, but that means we only get paid for 50,000 people,
Exactly.
and we should get
Exactly.
paid for 65,000 people.
And just throw politics in for a sec. There is now a fairly strong association of boroughs that make money from tourism. I mean, I'm kind of paraphrasing what it's called in Spanish. And they are campaigning for the Spanish government to give them more money because they say, like for instance in Adeje, they get money from the government for services to attend to 50,000 residents.
Right.
But at any given time of the year, there's probably 2 million people here
Right.
because of tourism.
Yeah.
So they're saying they should be getting more money from Madrid because there's always going to be 1 million people minimum in Adeje
Right.
because of tourism. And it makes sense.
That
So-
is. In fact, I was looking at the arrivals. There's a website that I think it's in the description, but I'm not sure. There's a website that I look at, and this website actually tells you how many people arrived
Wow, okay.
to the Canary Islands in total, each island individually, and they count it as direct flights from to.
All right, well, it's probably the National Institute of Statistics will do that, but like a month after it's happened.
Exactly. So we've just had the August results in, which come in about between the 8th and the 15th, depending on how busy they are, I suppose. And we are only down 8%.
Yeah.
At the moment from the 2019.
Exactly.
So they're not counting the year before and the year before that. So they're not counting 2021 or 2020. They're going from the tourists of August 2019. We're only down 8%, which is fantastic because
Yeah.
we were down like 90% not so long ago.
And July we were at 83% of the 2019 figure, so it's creeping up.
It's creeping up, yeah.
Which is good, and it just like hopefully it can be a bit more sustainable.
Yeah. In fact, there are more people coming from the Netherlands and the Scandinavian countries. So we're actually up on certain ones and then down on the UK, Germany, France, that type of thing.
Okay.
So it's a very interesting view. If it's not in the description, I will put it in. I'll put it in as a standard link so
That's
you
a
can
good
go
idea.
and download it. So you can go eventually you'll be able to go in and look at any of the videos that have done after today, and you'll have that link. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, you do have to do a little bit of work. It's not like spoon-fed like the Sun or something like that. So you've got to go in and say what you want to look at, how you want to look at it, and you download a PDF, and then the PDF is basically just an Excel spreadsheet. So it's not sexy,
No, but if
it's
you're
very
interested
informative.
in stats,
Yeah.
it's very informative.
And what I will do as well is I'll do once a month on Balcony Banter. I'll actually prepare some slides for you to look at if you want as well.
Slideshow.
We do a slideshow.
Whoa,
so
it'll be like when Dad
do a
comes back
live
from
slide.
holidays.
Andy Grundy says, just tuned in, sat around the pool. Tad cloudy today on the island, but still lovely and warm. We'll watch in its entirety later on Catch Up.
Lovely.
Thank you so much. Catch Up is so easy because you can turn me off and go to the speed and double speed it. So I don't have to tell this. You want to listen to what I'm saying.
And it'll still make no sense.
Actually, if you slow that down to half, it will make sense there.
And if you play it backwards?
If you say it backwards, then it will be.
devil.
You sound like a Russian.
There you go.
There you go.
Actually, and there's just a tiny little bit of news since we were talking about who's coming from what countries. Sometimes I think some of the newspapers, not the ones that are based here, but other newspapers tend to look for headline grabbing stories. How strange is that? So there was a bit of news during the week
Selling advertising.
about the visa. There will be a visa which has now been delayed, but it'll probably come in towards the end of 2023.
Is that ETIAS?
Yes.
Okay.
So ETIAS is a visa which will be for any non-European visitor to Spain or to any parts of Europe. Like you have to do the ETAS if you're going to the United States. So I think it's going to cost about €7 and it'll last for 3 years. And I think I would like to say to British people who are going to be coming here is to say it's not against anybody. It's not simply for British people. We really still need you to come here on holidays and everything. This is going to be something. It was voted in years ago. In fact, the British government were part of the European Union when it was voted on, and they voted in favour of it. So this will probably come in at the end of 2023. And when you see the headlines about it, don't panic. It's going to be really quick. If you've ever had to fill in the ETAS one to go to the
It's
States.
not actually a visa, I read.
Yeah, ESTA. Sorry, ESTA, you're right, Juliana.
ESTA, yeah. I mean, it's not actually a visa, it's a visa waiver.
Yes, exactly.
So that means you can come in and you don't need a visa.
Yeah. And
Now-
it'll take minutes to do online, and
Yeah.
that's it.
And 3 years is quite
3 years is great, yeah, for €7.
Yeah.
But just to reassure people, this is not about Brexit.
No.
It's just another thing. It's got nothing to do with Brexit. If you read about it, if there's a headline about Brits to be charged €7 to come to Spain, everybody who isn't European will at some stage have to fill in this form.
Yeah, but don't forget at the time, Britain wasn't part of the Schengen agreement, right?
No, yeah.
So, and I think ETIAS only is for Schengen, is that correct?
I don't know, because Ireland still isn't part of the Schengen agreement, so I'll have to see that.
Yeah, but
Ireland's in the EU.
I don't think, if Britain would have stayed in the EU, you would not have had to fill in an ETIAS to go to Britain, would you?
I don't know.
From wherever, Nigeria.
Because I think the idea is, yes, maybe not, because you still wouldn't have had free border movement.
Right,
movement
right,
within borders.
right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting that the British government voted in favour of this
Exactly,
over time.
exactly. But basically, it's a visa. It's instead of having to get a visa, and at the moment, Britain has a most favoured country status. So therefore, you don't need a visa to come from Britain because you were part of the European Union. But what they're doing now is they're bringing in this. It's basically just collecting information about who's coming and who's going.
Yeah.
And that costs money, and it's going to cost you $7. But if you look in the newspaper at some of these, I don't want to say
screaming
right
headlines.
wing because you know my politics,
Yeah.
but some of these right wing rags, then they're going to try and divide you again.
Yeah, or try to convince you that this is anti-British,
Uh-huh.
and it's the EU being surly
Yeah,
because
which
Britain
it
voted
isn't.
to leave the EU. But it's not. It's just a general move that's happening. But it's been delayed anyway, so the process won't probably even begin to be put into place until they're saying late 2023.
Are there many Russians coming to the island now? Yeah, about the same as there
Same.
were in 2019. In fact, I'm on out and about. I've been meeting Russians and Ukrainians coming on holiday together.
That's nice.
It was nice, yeah. And they say that a lot of the news that we're seeing is total propaganda from both sides, and so just it is a crying shame what's happening. But you've got to get more information from the people who are really on the ground there before you start making decisions and hanging flags out your window and stuff. I mean, wrap your children up in your father's flags. Wasn't that Elton John?
I don't know.
It was wrapping your children up in your father's flags was an anti-war song from Elton John, I think, not so long ago. So you got to be careful. Ray Duffy, busy day tomorrow, Tim. Get your wee lasses a drink. Okay, get on catch up. Thank you so much for the donation there. I will definitely get them a drink, and that should pay for 2 bottles of wine each.
Ta-da!
There you go.
Thank you, Ray.
There you go. Do you have to go to Edinburgh to get a visa? You need a visa to get to Edinburgh, I tell you.
Especially, well, I was going to say, especially if somebody gets in and wants to ignore Nicola Sturgeon.
But this visa is
fast.
just acting as a tourist allowance into the country, correct? Meaning 90-day rule. Yeah, the 90-day rule is still in effect, so it doesn't
Yeah.
affect that. But there are rumours that Spain is going to start doing something for Brits, for the swallows. It's rumours I've been hearing from certain quarters, but I've got nothing official yet. So
Okay.
let's keep our ear to the ground for that one.
I do know when the British ambassador was here about a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
he was quite, he wanted to be informed more about the number of swallows that come to the Canary Islands because it's not the same as in, say, the Spanish Peninsula. Mm-hmm. And I think people were trying to impress upon him that in the Canary Islands there are a particular group of people who like to spend quite a long time here. And I think he took that back because he realised that it was an issue that needed to be dealt with. That was 18 months ago, but I think these negotiations take a long time.
You're right, and I think where I've heard of it, there's elections coming up this year or next year?
Next year.
Next
May
year in
of
Spain.
next year.
And the Popular Party, the Popular People's Party, the
Partido
PP.
Popular.
So they are floating ideas now that are obviously popular because they're a populist party.
Well, they're the Tories. They're the Spanish Tories.
Yeah, they're
right?
they're the Spanish Tories, a little bit further right maybe than the Tories.
Well, and then you have Vox, who are even further
Okay.
righter.
Okay. So you got the PP and you got Vox, and they're talking about things that might happen. And a couple of our viewers, Spanish viewers, they were telling me also that maybe it's not going to be a socialist government next year. It looks like it's going to be a mixture, which is going to be right wing. So there are certain things that might be coming in there
Well,
that they're doing.
Vox are they're kind of like the UKIP of Spain.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know if they will be doing or promoting any kind of policies that would be in favour of immigrants.
No.
Not
Yeah, but
Vox.
tourism is not immigrants.
No, but they don't want people living here who are not Spanish.
No, but
Sorry,
then-
I'm being very, very.
But they're saying the
that's
90-day
a bit
rule.
of a sweeping statement.
Yeah, but the 90-day rule. You know,
I don't know.
think.
I don't know. I mean,
But
Vox are
there's
generally-
ideas on it anyway, so
Yeah.
we'll see. Marijuana, Mark, says Moira. Oh dear, what herbs have you got planted behind you? This is basil. This is
Gerard.
Gerard. Let's have a quick look. This is the one I can never remember.
Thyme.
Oregano.
Oregano. This is thyme. This is basil. And down the bottom there is rosemary.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, it is.
So there we go. So we cook with it all the time. All the time.
Oh, go on. You're a caution.
Oregano on. No on. So we've been on 46 minutes and we've just been bantering. We've just been bantering.
Yeah.
And Julie has had a very relaxing evening tonight.
Yes, I did have.
Is there anything that you want to bring up? Oh, you didn't talk about this desalination plants. Is that something else you're going to save?
Well, no, it was just when I was asking Stephanie about water. One of the things I do now and then is I prepare little reports for Irish radio. And it was just, I did a bit of research into desalination because it strikes me, even when we live here, we don't think about where our water comes from. There are no rivers here. There are no lakes here. The only natural water we get is from the rainfall in the north of the island and the ice and snow on Adeje for about a month a year.
Yeah.
And it was, so I looked into it, and I mean, there's over 300 desalination plants in the Canary Islands. And here in the south of Tenerife, now there are 2 desalination plants, but one of them is cleaning wastewater. And that's being used now to irrigate crops.
And we also sell it to hotels for tourists, right? To drink.
That's right. We put it into bottles. No, but I mean, our drinking water comes from a desalination plant, which takes the water from the natural water galleries and from the sea. This is me being really not sciencey. Strips out all the algae, bacteria, the bad stuff, mineralizes it, and then pumps it back through into a pumping station, and then it goes out to all the different, zones that bring it to the different villages. And there are laboratories testing the water, so the water that comes from our taps is drinkable.
Okay.
And we have no rivers or lakes here. I think that's pretty amazing.
No rivers, no lakes, and no trains.
It's drinkable.
Yeah, 100%. The
I
Adeje
know
water is.
some of my friends, they have installed this
I have.
filter,
Yeah.
and which works quite well for them.
But their Adeje tests its drinking, its tap water on a regular basis, and they always come up with the results that if you want to, it might taste a bit different because it's come from through a desalination plant. But in terms of safety, it's 100% safe for cooking and drinking. So they say.
I mean,
And I haven't been sick, and I mean, I haven't had Spanish tummy in 20 years.
I made ice cubes the other day because I didn't get any ice, and I put it in some water, and Christine said the water didn't smell nice.
Yeah.
So don't make ice from it.
Okay. I mean, like I say, they say it might smell or look different because it's been treated.
Yeah.
I mean, I still prefer to filter or buy
Is
bottled
that
water.
the same kind of water that they have in, like, say, for instance, where I live in the complex? There's the station where you can put your bottle or your giant big bottle and then fill it.
That's
'cause
commercial. That's a commercial.
but it's the same kind of process with osmosis.
Yes, I would imagine so. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be a commercial enterprise, so
Yeah.
that's not linked directly to the desalination plant.
Okay.
But it was just the first one. Apparently, was opened in Lanzarote in 1964.
Wow.
And it grew, the whole thing expanded as the economy expanded. And in terms of Spain, Spain has over 700 desalination plants according to the research. So if I'm wrong, blame the research. And it's the country with one of the highest number after the United States, the United Arab Emirates, and one or two other. But I mean, Israel apparently did this as well about 12 years ago. And it moved from being a very a country that was very worried about water resources the whole time to being a very high turnover water desalination country.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I was thinking like the United Kingdom's been declaring drought this week. Ireland will have hosepipe bans as well. They're also islands surrounded by water, and you think, guys, look into this.
Uh-huh.
It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Especially the whole notion that wastewater is reused, and that's the circular economy we were talking about, that it's then used for plants and crops and orchards and so the island is self-sustaining. I mean, we have El Hierro, which is a biosphere, isn't it? It's a self-sustaining biosphere.
Not only that, but this the first time that they are self-sustaining with water as well last year.
Yeah.
That was
I
good.
mean, they're little milestones.
Okay, I've got to go and do something quick in the kitchen. I'm going to leave you with these two cameras. One is Clio and one is... Oh, that's 3 cameras. There we go. I'll leave you with these 2 cameras. I'm going to turn off this thing at the bottom there because it's using a lot of electricity. There's a couple of questions came in. I don't know if you can get to the questions, but one was, hi Tim, would you like to ask the new EHIC offered in the UK is honoured in Tenerife since we've come out of the EU. The EHIC is only valid for European countries and for UK residents who have an EHIC that hasn't run out yet. What you do have to do, though, is once your EHIC runs out, or if you're getting it for the first time, if you're in the UK, you've got to go for a GHIC, which the Brits decided in their wisdom to call it the Global Health Insurance Card.
That's true, yeah. For
Yeah,
Brits.
it's not the European Health Insurance Card, it's
Yeah.
the Global Health
That's
Insurance,
right.
which includes Europe. So if you have an old EHIC from UK and it's still valid, then it's accepted
It's
here.
accepted, yeah,
And if you
yeah.
don't, then the GHIC is in.
And-
I'm not
and
even,
do
I
get
don't know why
these
I'm looking at the
cards,
camera,
guys.
I'm not even in it.
These
So if you
cards
could
are
carry
really
on
important.
talking about
We
that.
had one question by Luke Otter. He was asking to everyone, what is one firmly held belief or opinion you had in the past which you subsequently realized you were wrong about? That's a very good question, actually.
Off you go.
Yeah, off I go. I'm thinking. I mean, you grow up with obviously with some things that your parents or even your grandparents tell you, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, and then you find out when you're getting older, it doesn't do any harm or it doesn't do any damage. The drinking water, for instance, is one of them. Don't drink
Drink tap water.
Although in Germany it's quite doable. It's
When I was growing up in Ireland, if you
Yeah.
brought home a bottle of water that you paid money for,
yeah.
you'd be called absolutely mad.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah,
This is the tap.
exactly.
And I still drink tap water in Dublin.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but going on holiday
Yeah,
abroad,
that's true.
for instance, oh my God, even like the ice cubes would be something you would be a little bit.
Well, and it was called Spanish tummy, I think, because I think
Yeah.
I think in the past the water probably wasn't as well cleaned, maintained, and tested as it is now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, what was one of your beliefs that you then found out that you were, or your parents, or maybe-
They told me if you eat cherries or plums,
yeah.
you can't drink after it
Okay,
because you get a tummy ache.
okay.
And
Didn't happen.
They were
it
wrong.
happened there. They just learned it from their parents,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
It's true, isn't it?
It's
By
always,
accident, my dad ate plums once and drank milk,
yeah,
and then he got a tummy ache.
yeah,
But he would have got it anyway, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But isn't it interesting how we can stay stuck for a long period of time, maybe even over the course throughout our lifetime, with those false beliefs,
Yeah.
or because somebody implanted some kind of fear idea.
Somebody in authority.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. An authority, or which we allow to register in our mind. It might not even be our parents, but say, for instance, kids growing up and slowly being teenagers. They're reading or something, or hearing about something, and then they take it as something for real. Which can have an impact, of course.
But sometimes now, as a late blooming mother of what is now teenager, one of the things I suppose I've learned is that I'm not always right.
No, of course.
But I liked to think I was. I wanted to be always right. And it's one of the, Chris, I mean, we all know this, whether it's from your sister or your mother or your father or your cousin, sometimes you have to acknowledge that you're wrong. And that's a really hard lesson to learn, especially when it's somebody who in the past you had the alternative relationship with, whether it's you know, me as a daughter to my mother, knowing at times that now actually I was right, or with my daughter when she says something to me or she argues back with me and I think, damn it, she's right. That's hard to accept.
Or at least, I mean, it's not. I wouldn't necessarily say that something is right or wrong. It's just like, oh my God, there are more things out there. It's not just like, woo, I have to just look straight forward. Yeah. There are many more different options to do things. Like, it always amazes me, like when I see, for instance, cooking recipes, and then you would think, oh, you can only do it, or you were only taught it to do it or to make it in one certain way. And then you see things in other countries, how it's made. And then, wow, you're so surprised. Oh, you can also do it like this, or and that's even better, and it can be even much better.
Yeah, do you know what it's about? I'm thinking it's all about listening and opening up your ears, your eyes, and your mind, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We got another question that maybe you can answer. There you go. We got another question that maybe you can answer, Clio. I think I can have a go at it as well. Jeff Grace Cruz, they were on this morning. Hi, Jeff. Good evening, everyone. Just fell in love with Tenerife. What visa do I need to buy a property in Tenerife? Is it easy for us Brits to buy property? Now, buying a property is nothing to do with the visa because you don't have to live here to buy it, right?
Exactly.
But if you want to move here and spend more than 90 days in any 180, then you need either a work visa if you're working. You need either, if you're retired.
Golden visa, I think they're called. I don't know. I would say, get in touch with a legal advisor. If you're if you're thinking about buying a property, once you've picked the property, the estate agent should be able to help you with all of that paperwork because it's complicated.
There's two estate agents that I recommend. One is the admin of I Love Tenerife forum on Facebook, Andy Ward, and he goes, his website is tenerifeestateagents.net, and he's a network of estate agents that all share commissions and stuff. So he has the largest portfolio, if you like, portfolio, and he does all the work. If you sign up to buy a house with him or sell a house with him exclusively, then he will do all the work for you, and he will charge the seller the money.
The commission,
right? So if you're looking to buy Andy Ward. It'll cost you nothing, and he'll give you all the right stuff. The other guy is in Los Cristianos, and he's called. God, it's just.
I don't know.
It's
so
gone. The guy with the hat. He's on a YouTube channel.
I don't know.
George.
No, we're lost.
No, we're lost. Sorry, Simon. Simon. Something George.
Okay.
Sorry, Simon. Anyway, so I mean, no switch on my mouth. I've interviewed him. So if you're looking past of the interviews I've done that. Simon.
We can mention it again
Anyway.
next week.
Mention him next week, exactly right. So, but have a look there. But buying property is not a problem. If you do invest more than $500,000, which includes your property, then you are eligible for the golden visa. So that's probably the easiest to get, unless you're retired. Because if you're a retired Brit as well and you want to move over here, you can still do it as long as you can guarantee an income of 38,000 something a year.
Yeah.
Each, yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Since Brexit, there are a lot of new and complicated rules, and for us to sit here and say you do this when none of us have a legal background, I think would be.
I have a legal background. I've been arrested at least once.
Alan's homemade vlog says
Simon
Sutton
Sutton
George.
Thank you. Sutton. I couldn't think of Sutton, but Simon Sutton George. So those are the two estate agents that I recommend.
But I think what you said at the beginning is very, very, very important, Tim, that there are two completely separate issues. Buying a property and deciding to live here. Because you can decide to live here without having to buy a property. And just because you buy a property won't give you any automatic rights.
Unless it's over $500,000, then
Unless it's over
theoretically it would count towards your
Your visa.
Yeah,
Golden visa,
yeah,
yeah.
your golden visa. So it used to be quite easy. When I came over, you came over and faffed about for a bit, and then eventually after 3 months you turned up at the police station and sort of said, I'm thinking of staying, and they gave you a green card.
Yep.
And then after the green card you could go and work wherever you wanted as long as they gave you a contract. And that was work. But now, if you come over and then decide to stay, you are automatically disqualified from moving here. You have to start the moving process from your home country. That is very, very important these days. So if you're actually over here, sort of you want to stay for 3 months, like your 90 days, and then you decide to stay, if you start to do the stuff while you're here, that will disqualify you. So you have to go home and start the process from the embassy in your home country. Very important. Unless you're European, of course, and then it's free movement. No problem.
Which we are.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, if you're Irish, then everything I just said is totally useless.
You're Irish.
Look, you are attracting bees. You are doing good.
I don't think it's a bee, my dear Juliane.
Is it not?
No, that's a bee.
That is an interesting hornet.
That's a
It's
hornet.
like a Töpfer. Wie heißt die?
Like little buggers they are.
Yeah, that's not friendly.
Are they the ones that make those pots actually?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
They make the pots. You'll find them around about this
Yeah.
time of year, under the eaves or behind
Exactly.
something. All you got to do is sort of like just tell them, please go somewhere else, just before you smash them with the pot.
And they are very quick building those, huh?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Especially if you've got wood behind you. So if we've got 2 pallets over there.
Okay.
So we get like 4 wasps' nests a year.
Really? They just because
They just eat
they're
the
attracted.
pallet and then go straight to the wall and then
interesting.
put it on. Yeah. So we are 1 hour and 3 minutes over. So we're going to start wrapping up now. I'm going to ask Christina just to click her clicker for a second, just to make sure she's awake.
No, no.
You're going to click your clicker. I'm going to ask Stephanie to come back out, say tra, if she can.
Kommst du noch schnell? Sagen wir noch schnell Tschüss.
And Malika, you want to say cheers?
Yeah.
Sag mal Tschüss zu allen.
The battery's okay on most of them. Everything looking good. We're going to say ta-ra now anyway. I'd like to thank each and every one of you to a Balcony Banter. It's a slightly different Balcony Banter this week because of the guests. But as I say, we'll answer any questions. If we didn't get to your question, I apologise. Just send me an email. I'll try and find an answer for you next time. On Friday, I will be in Las Americas outside the Hard Rock Cafe opposite on the opposite side of the road by the fountain at 5:55. If you want to come and say hello then, we can go for a little. I probably won't be walking too much, but on the Friday, but we'll do that for an hour. And tomorrow I'm going for a walk. I don't know where. Where did I say I was going for a walk tomorrow? Oh, we didn't. There's a couple of people that wanted to contact me for Thursday, so please get in contact. You'll see that about 9:30, and Friday morning walk as well. So if you're interested in a morning walk, I'm interested for that. Thanks everyone, have a great evening. If you're working for a limited period of time, do you still have to do empadronamiento, says Maria Albanos?
Nothing to do with work, it's living here.
Yeah, the empadronamiento is basically just registering your address at the town hall.
That you're resident, but
That's
also
nothing to do with work,
it's registering your status as a resident.
Right. Correcto. But as I say, you probably we can give you an idea of where to go. Where's the best website to go to? It used to be Janet.
Oh, I'll find out and let
Well,
you know.
I'll put a link in the description later, or we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool dudes. Bye everybody, and we'll see you. So everybody wave.
Bye.
Malika, do you want to wave?
No.
No.
She's
Okay.
busy. She's busy on the floor.
See you. Would want to be you. Oh, we're going to do this quick. Google thinks you might like this one next. And if you want to support the channel, you can go here. And if you want to subscribe for free, you can go right here. And I'll put the merchandise link right up there. See ya. Would want to be you.